What's up, Minecraft Mojanksters? I decided it's time for my one single yearly video. And today's Minecraft video is about a bunch of features that just never fully made the cut. They were planned or mentioned, but never fully got added into the game. And I really scrubbed the wiki for like the more obscure features that people probably wouldn't have heard of. But I'm actually gonna start the video off with honorable mentions. We'll get all the lamer ones or the smaller ones out of the way first. So let's get right into it. Honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. Alright, the first honorable mention is the green axolotl. So the green axolotl was a mob that was planned for Minecraft 1.17 and was said to release with the other colored axolotls. It was shown off in the Minecraft Live that year and even showed up in the 1.17 trailer, but it never made it to the final release for reasons unknown. Some people actually think it was removed because in real life axolotls cannot spawn as green axolotls, and that's if they're genetically engineered, of course. But that would be unnatural, and Minecraft is, it's all about, natural stuff in Minecraft. So. Alright, next up is the mesh caves. So this was a cave variant that they were planning on adding to the Caves and Cliffs update. However, it actually ended up becoming a completely separate type of cave. And the mesh caves were only ever mentioned by the developers and seen once ever in this one screenshot on Twitter posted by this Mojang developer Henrik Nieberg. And it's literally just like in the background of his monitor, and some player was like, hey, what are these bizarre corridors? And all Henrik had to say was, those are mesh caves, you'll see later. But we never did. The mesh caves eventually evolved into the spaghetti caves. Last honorable mention is MCPE's 400 block tall world limit. So way back in the day, 2014, Pocket Edition was just getting infinite worlds, and there's this one developer named Tommaso Cecchi. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And he kind of just like tinkered with Pocket Edition a lot. Well, more on that later, because he did some wild stuff. But anyway, he added a world limit that's literally taller than the world limit that was added in Caves and Cliffs, and he posted a single screenshot of it on Twitter. It was never heard from again, and that's it. And that's also it for honorable mentions. Now on to number 1. Colored lights. So way back in 2013, a Minecraft developer named Ryan Holtz was experimenting with colored torches and colored light sources. A minute-long video was posted on July 21st, 2013 showcasing this feature, but it was never added due to performance issues. However, the colored torches eventually made their way over to Bedrock Edition's Education Edition. And obviously they looked a little different, but the idea was there, and they didn't give off any cool colored lights. Also, interestingly, in the same recording, you could see that they have the dynamic light feature similar to Optifine, which I think is really cool, and they should add to Minecraft. On the removed features, direct scale 1 through 13, I'd give this like a 10. Up next is the Sculk jaw. So the Sculk jaw was a concept that was shown off at Minecon 2020, or Minecraft Live 2020, whatever you want to freaking call it, I don't care. It was the first ever Sculk showcase. They were never explained, but it could be assumed that they would damage the player whenever you step on it, or maybe like some sort of like, you can't move or something that stun you. I think that'd be kind of cool. On Twitter, King Dogs explained to a fellow Minecraft player that they were likely canceled and wouldn't make it to the full release of 1.19, and they were also not in 1.18 or 17, so that's probably the end of the Sculk jaw. I doubt it'll ever be added. Rest in peace, Sculk. Very cool feature. Alright, up next, we got unused capes. So everybody knows about the mob votes. Everybody knows about that. I mean, come on. But what you might not know about is the 2011 cape vote, where 14 capes were chosen and only one would be used for Minecon 2011. And obviously, as we all know, the red creeper cape freaking won. And it actually won by like 42%. People did not care for the other capes. But the blue pickaxe cape that got second place, 33%, was actually used for the next Minecon. So that's pretty cool. And I kind of think it's a shame that most of these capes were pretty much scrapped. Because, I mean, you could look at these are some really cool capes. And I think there was a lot of potential there. Maybe they should bring back cape votes. That'd be cool. Hey, leave a comment about that. Leave a comment for cape votes. Next up in my video is the copper horn. So the copper horn was actually a very complex item planned to be added in 1.18. And I actually made it into a couple of Bedrock preview snapshots. And basically, it was crafted by getting a goat horn and putting like some copper around it, like 3 pieces of copper ingot. And how it worked is essentially if you're looking in a certain angle, it's a 45-degree angle, then it will play a harmonic tune. And then if you're just looking straight, then it will play a little melodic tune. And then if you're crouching, it'll play a bass tune. So very cool. This is like a super complex social feature. It was essentially removed because of the super vague reason that was stated as not meeting the developer's design goals, which is kind of a shame because I think this is a really cool feature. I also just think it has a really cool texture. On to the next one. Giant spiders. Now whenever you look at this image, I know what you're probably thinking. This must be a really tiny Minecraft village. But in fact, you're wrong. That's a giant Minecraft spider. So this was a feature that was subtly teased in a tweet posted by Jens Minecraft Bergensten. Considering giant slimes and giant zombies are already in the game, I really do wonder what other giant mobs were planned. And of course, this was never actually added into the game. I think Minecraft Jens Bergensten was kind of just screwing around, and he created these giant spiders. But it would have been cool. Up next, we got ocean waves and 3D grass. Now I clumped these two together because they both involve that Tommaso Cecchi guy I was talking about earlier in that honorable mention. But this is how the story goes. Around the same time, 11 years ago for MCPE 0.9.0, or actually I think this might have taken place a little bit after that update, but Tommaso was experimenting with some shaders and he posted a screenshot on Twitter of what it could potentially look like. Now, obviously this never went through, but I think it could have been a really cool feature, even if it was just like a Bedrock exclusive or something. But that's what the waves could have looked like in the Minecraft ocean. Now, Tommaso also got a little too curious and started experimenting with this 3D grass, which you can see he described it as something that would come out of a mod, and he instantly reverted it. He probably knew it wouldn't go too well with a lot of the hardcore Minecraft fans. You know how people get. But it is really neat to see what made it into these like single developer builds and just was never seen from again. And lastly, we got the far biome. And this is another Tommaso feature and was actually again back in 2014 while he was working on 0.9. And so for a little context, whenever they were working on 0.9, instead of planning infinite worlds, they were originally just going to do multiple different sized worlds. They were just going to size up the world, essentially. And these different sized worlds would be 1,000 by 1,000, 10,000 by 10,000, and then of course, the original 256 by 256.
Yeah, the question is that infinite is not really infinite because you're always limited by something. And how big will they actually be on the Pocket Edition?
We were planning to infinite basically means that generates when you actually walk. So we were planning to have different limits for the sides, like a little bigger than now and some other, and actually infinite. So that like when you host a map on your phone, then people cannot just eat 4 gigabytes of your memory. But yeah, I guess there will be some kind of biome at the end of the world, so that it's nicer than just like a wall.
And this biome was sort of a spoof on the Farlands and would have spawned at the edge of each of these biomes. I think this is super interesting, and he was always really vague about it whenever talking about it. He was talking about it as if everybody kind of knew about it, which I think is a little funny. But it's really, like, this is a really neat concept, and it seems really ambitious for a Pocket Edition exclusive. Obviously, it was never added into the game, and I don't know, again, I don't know how seriously this feature was taken. I don't know if it was something where they're like, oh yeah, Tommaso's just added again, or if they're like, yeah, we're gonna add this. But it was never added because of the addition of Infinite Worlds. You would never see it. How would it generate? You know, the edge of the world is not there anymore. Wouldn't work. And that's it for this video. Freaking 1 out of 1. 2025 checked off the list. Nah, in all seriousness, I actually probably have some other videos planned for this year. Don't know if I'll make them, but you know, they're planned. They're written down. That's more than most videos I thought of in the past. So thanks for watching. Check out my music channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that may be. Next year. Maybe I'll see you guys next year. Peace out.